What's up? Welcome back to my channel, or for the first time if you're new, I'm Sylvan, and today I'm going to be reacting to Frieren Season 2, Episode 2. I'm super excited to get into this. I'm curious to meet whoever this Hero of the South is, whether they're a character we've already met just under a different title, or an entirely new character, and of course I'm just excited to, in general, see more of the gang, the main trio. So I'm not going to delay it all here. Feel free to like and subscribe if you enjoy the video, leave a comment on your thoughts, consider becoming a channel member if you want to support me just that little bit extra, and let's get into this. Alright, straight to the intro, huh? Okay. Yeah, no, I'm curious if we're going to meet any, like, characters from last season again, like Werble. Because that was just, like, a really nice sort of moment just to have them briefly involved. And I feel like we're inevitably going to run into some characters from that arc. I believe Denkin is heading back up north so they can visit his wife's grave. I feel like we gotta meet Ubel at some point again. But, I don't know, they might save that for later. God. I already really love this opening. Yeah, just... It's not quite like either of the other openings, but it captures the vibe perfectly nonetheless. Oh god, Werble getting seasick. Huh. The trio. I love the symbolism with the petals and all of them. Great opening. Where are we now? We've done that plenty of times. Yo! Perfect. Amazing. That's some legendary folk magic if I've ever seen it. Alright, Fable Village. Or Fable Village. I'm having a feeling it may not be Himmel. It may be whoever this Hero of the South is. Cool. Yeah, that's no Himmel. Huh. Dual swords. Okay. Makes sense that she's aware of him if he's somewhat historical. Yeah. Yeah. Makes sense. Oh, okay. Humanity's strongest. But he wasn't the one to beat the Demon King. Yep. We've dealt with one of them before. Ooh. Let me guess, he beat like 3 or 4? Okay. Cool. Yeah, that's a powerful guy, and unless his companions have been lost to history, it seems like he might have done it himself? Damn. Ooh. I like how they're doing this, like, puppet thing. Got an interesting look to it. This is a fun way to show this. Yeah, that's crazy. I'm guessing it probably is bloated for legend a bit, but... Ah, okay. A valiant end. Truly a heroic final battle. Cool. Okay. Never found. Okay. You gotta be setting this up for a reason. I'm curious how this will tie in. Yeah, that's the more realistic one. Huh. Now, did I just miss it, or did they not say... Ooh, okay. I was about to ask roughly how long ago he had been around. Not one hero, but two sought her out. Really? Okay. Uh-huh. Huh. The secret to his power? He can see the future. Oh. Yeah, that lines up. That lines up for her attitude at this point. So, was his final battle a future seer against a future seer? Or are they secretly one and the same? Ooh. Was that a hint to her meeting one of them before, like, all of her journey? Ooh. Okay. Yeah, so two future seers duking it out. Huh. That's a wild fight that I'd love to see. Honestly, it would probably be a very quick fight, all things considered. Ooh. Ooh. Love the look of this guy. I also love the dual wield aesthetic of this guy. Okay. And we just see the aftermath, huh? Hmm. Okay. And yet he goes to his fate nonetheless. Yeah, okay. So though she may not have believed him, Frieren had the truth of how their journey would go before even properly meeting Himmel. They'll change your life. How far into the future could he see? Interesting. Oh? A message for Himmel? Oh, and we don't get to hear it? God damn it. I want to know what the message is. Ooh. Ooh. A hero handing off the duty of finishing the fight to another hero. Ow. Yeah. Cool. That's really fucking interesting. Leave it to Stark to immediately make friends with all the kids in town. Huh. Yeah. That's the one thing he got wrong. People remember. Okay, now off to another place. Graf Docks domain. Okay. Funny for Stark to be the one saying we should take our time, and Frieren just moving along. Yeah, Fern knows something's up. Does she have a history with this place or something? Something she'd not want to address? Yeah, she's being efficient. This is not like her. That is just a few supplies. Yeah. She is in a rush. Yeah. Oh. I knew it. Yeah, I knew it. She has a history here. Oh boy. And she just walks off. Yeah. Unsurprising. Oh my god. Yeah, that lines up. That tracks. Oh god, the food looks good. Just the dots for eyes. Okay, yeah. How'd they save you? Or your great-grandfather? I guess it doesn't necessarily matter. Ah. Again? Is that what they helped with before? Must be some sword to keep getting stolen. Fair. Alright, nice and simple, straight to the point. Uh-huh. Jesus. Yeah. Okay. Just had no idea before, I guess. The top of the mountains, huh? Fucking dramatic. Yeah, must be special in some way. Ah. Okay, so it has historical meaning and importance to the demons. Uh-huh. Yeah. Oh. Maintaining the, like, goodwill and acts of Himmel. Okay. I like that. Anyways, we're already on a big old detour. Hmm. I always do love these periods in the episodes where they just let us feel the travel. Still not good at catching fish, I see. Yo, that's a fucking snake. Ooh. Okay. The demon's been up to some bad stuff. Not surprising. It's a demon after all. Hmm. Did just the one demon do this? Huh. Now that's a shot. The demon still? Ooh. Hello there. Are you the one with the sword? A traveling priest? Hmm. The sword demon. Okay. Who are you? Yeah, I would imagine that there's not too many sword demons. Huh. Then what are you doing here other than to mourn? Hmm. I don't fully trust her yet, but I don't want to be too suspicious. Yeah. Ooh, what? Okay. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Ooh. Okay. A demon trying to play some tricks. Huh. Once again, that barrier. All right. Let's see how powerful she is. Ooh, boy. Come on, Stark. You gotta be the frontliner here. God, she's just beelining to them. Holy shit, a sword that breaks barrier magic? Holy crap. Yeah. Keep them in line. It's impressive that she's holding out, though. Fucking orbital shot. Is that enough to beat her? Sword remains. Is that the dust of her death? Ooh, the cutback. We got to defeat a demon. Clearly after the previous encounter with demons from the old party we saw. Yeah. Killing a monster who has destroyed tons of towns is inevitably a good thing. Or at least does a lot of good. Of course. Huh. Alright. I'm impressed at how well she held up, but yeah, that lines up. Huh. Huh. Ooh. We're about to pray in a false manner or something like that? Like, because of a lie? Oh. Yeah, you close your eyes to pray and then you're not paying attention when she draws the sword and stabs you. Okay. Another demon trick. Huh. Guess that makes more sense for Frieren than some more spiritual thing. Gotta protect that sword better. Hmm. Now that the issue is out of the way, now she wants to take her time. He was very polite. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Makes sense. Probably. Okay. Yeah. Heirlooms are heirlooms. Yeah. Legacy and all that. Yeah. Yeah. They'd cause havoc. You'd have to destroy the sword. Unsurprising. Jesus. Damn. They are tricksters. Learning human speech just to trick us, all that kind of stuff. Huh. A unified goal. Yeah. Phew. That's a fucking line. Hmm. Yeah. Hmm. Next time you come through. You know it. Really now? Anything in particular? Yo, that mundane shit, I love it. Oh, that's fun. I like that. That's a fun episode. I really like both sides of the episode. It definitely is much more of that sort of two separate, distinct scenarios, for sure, that don't really have much crossover, but each individually is really strong, I'd say, all things considered. I really like the Hero of the South thing, emphasizing that it can't have just been Himmel's party that saved the day. It was, I guess, built on the back of giants kind of thing, is what it was. The path was paved all the way just up to the final step for them. Not to say it was easy, but they had the road, they just needed to follow it. God, I love the style of this, and the fact that it's all legitimate colored pencil drawing is amazing. But yeah, and then this idea of this sword that keeps getting stolen, it's interesting. It very much is, in some ways, more of just sort of a bottle scenario. A demon has done some stuff, they're on a rampage, we gotta stop them. But at the same time, there is something there that I feel like especially gets touched on near the end. Something about the importance of legacy, of an heirloom, of something with importance, a goal, an objective, something to defend. Though there is inevitably, in a conflict between humans and demons, always just the innate aspect of the battle for survival, on both sides, in a weird degree. Having something tangible to defend, a symbol that can be used to rally the people. Even their banners had the sword. There is something to that. There is something to using this legacy of the past, this conquest over demons, a sword that was stolen from the demons, a symbol of stealing their power from them to use against them. There is something to that to enable hope, to rally people, to make them believe that not all is hopeless. Of course, if you look at it just on a mundane level, it's just a sword, and it keeps getting stolen, so to a degree, it's more of a nuisance than it's worth, as Stark was acknowledging. But to get rid of it would mean a demon getting hold of it and causing more problems, and to destroy it would be to destroy a symbol of hope, a symbol of success and victory over the demons. So on that front, it makes sense that they keep it. But at the same time, in this same part of the scene, we're also acknowledging that humanity is not infallible. We are not this pure good entity that will never do wrong, can never be tempted. We are imperfect. Individuals will always be impulsive. Individuals will at times fall to those impulses and to their desires, those temptations. And as long as that is the case, demons will seek to exploit those. It's how they live, it's how they survive, it's how they thrive. And so in that sense, with that idea in mind, it really doesn't matter necessarily how this second time the sword was stolen, as it can be assumed that it wasn't just the act of the demon, it was its manipulation towards others. It was likely in many ways an echoing of the past. So it serves to simultaneously show the importance of a symbol to rally the people together, and the messy imperfection of humanity in being steadfast against a threat. There will always be things demons can exploit, but the more strongly steadfast we all stand together under this symbol, the more we can look out for each other, and the more we can try to catch ourselves when we fall to that temptation. That's, I think, sort of where my mind leads with these two contrasting ideas. But then beyond that, to look at the actual demon for a moment, the sword demon, as she called herself. They serve to realistically, just more than anything, remind us of the danger of letting your guard down around a demon. They are first and foremost tricksters, manipulators. They will pretend to be a priest, use your own faith against you to get the upper hand, even when they realistically might be more powerful than you. And they will not think twice of killing and eating humans. It's just what they assume to be the norm. They have no reason to think there is something wrong with that. There is no reason for them to think they should do anything else. It's reaffirming what we were shown in season 1, that demons are not to be trusted and are essentially impossible to communicate with. They will not understand your moral reasoning. Their point of view is just so far separated from humanity's. Now, of course, in a meta sense, you could get into the debate that people have been having since that episode back in season 1 of whether or not you really can, if you put in enough effort, actually get a demon to understand and be redeemed. But it is fairly clear to me that that is not what the show intends. The show intends to point at demons, emphasizing again and again, these are monsters that cannot understand us, and we cannot understand them. To exist in tandem with each other is to fight each other. And I feel like the reason, perhaps, that we get this in this episode early on is to really reaffirm that before we go into maybe a larger arc, perhaps, that may have to do with more demons. We've had this hinting at the Northern Lands and the Northern Plateau having a ton of demon conflicts, something we're inevitably going to be running into more and more. So to re-emphasize the cruelty and danger of demons makes sense. And of course, in here we have tied in flashbacks to the past, the last time this happened. This time, it honestly feels like it's more played for gags than anything, though there is the one sort of nugget there at the end where Himmel acknowledges that yes, this was really challenging, this took a lot of time, it was arduous, but ultimately it helped a lot of people. Once again, reaffirming that Himmel is a fucking great guy. He is a hero through and through. To him, and as he essentially tries to convince Frieren and the rest of the party of, is that something may be hard, but it can still be worth it. If taking on this arduous task will do good, he will do it, and thinks that it's something you should do. Now, of course, there's the other aspect of it, the more goofy side, where he just likes the challenge, he likes the heroics, but there is that nugget of just strong moral compass to Himmel that we see again here. And really, beyond that, the only thing I think I want to acknowledge about this sort of latter segment of the episode is the reason Frieren does this. The reason Frieren willingly takes the job to retrieve the sword a second time. It's not for the reasons that Himmel had of wanting to do good. It wasn't out of just this wish to, even if it's challenging, do good. It was because she didn't want all the effort Himmel went to do it in the first place to be for naught. It fits perfectly in with all of her other wishes to retain the memory of Himmel and the party. In this sense, it is retaining the outcome of the actions he took, that they took, which I find interesting. I like it quite a bit. But then from here, jumping back to the first half of the episode, the hero of the South is a very interesting figure to me, because really, the exact details aren't what are important with him. What he did specifically isn't truly what's important. It doesn't matter what big monster he killed. It doesn't matter what 7 sages he's killed. What matters is that he was a hero just like Himmel, and he willingly, knowingly went to his death, knowing that it was not for nothing. It was to pave that road forward, to set up the road to victory for the next hero. By taking out 3 of the members of the 7 Sages of Destruction, it cut down the power of the Demon King and his forces enough that Himmel's party had a chance. And they made it. They did it. Of course, in however his future sight works, the hero of the South knew this would be the case. But it brings up this really strong idea of every hero, every legend, every celebrity to a degree is built on the back of giants. There is no hero or legend that is not made out of those who came before them. And even if those heroes from before the true hero, quote unquote, are not as strongly remembered or remembered at all, it does not change the impact they had, the importance they had in that ultimate goal. This is not the act of one man, but the act of many across time. And I think that's where him having future vision really works here, because otherwise it's just sort of a cool lore detail, but it serves to enable him as a character to look at Frieren and tell her, I will not achieve the ultimate victory, but I will pave the way for you and your hero, serving as this acknowledgement of everything that has been built up to this point, everything that had been worked towards by humanity to finally stop the Demon King. It was the work of Himmel and his party, it was the work of the hero of the South, it was the work of Flam teeing up Frieren to be ready to join Himmel's party. And to a sort of adjacent extent, it was the efforts of Sarai to train Flam in the first place. All these legends and heroes built upon each other's backs to reach that final goal. And this is the rare case where one of those heroes can, through time, echo a message, it's your turn. I showed you the way. And that's cool. I like that. The one caveat I will add to that, though, I do think the show needs to be careful with how much more they slot into that period where Frieren is just sort of sitting in the woods doing her own thing. Because the more that we get of essentially making this a destined occurrence that she would meet Himmel, join him, and be changed by him, though there is not inherently anything wrong with that, there is a certain perspective you could take with it that it perhaps lessens a little bit of that fateful encounter. I think it's still fine as it is currently, but I just emphasize this as something I think the series needs to be careful of doing too much more, because if Frieren this entire time was secretly aware of how things were gonna go, had everyone around her telling her this is how things are gonna happen, this person will mean a lot to you, anything like that. It does complicate her arc a little bit. It makes her a step more detached and unaware each time it happens. But it makes sense here, I think. It's fine here. She is skeptical of this guy's future sight. She remembers what he says because he's sort of a notable character, but she doesn't necessarily give his message to Himmel until seemingly they're already well on the way through their journey. Perhaps in that sense where she didn't believe him when he told her, and didn't believe him even when Himmel appeared to her and joined his party. But some point on the journey, she recognized, oh, we might be able to actually do this. Maybe that guy was right. I suppose I'll give the message to Himmel. It still works cohesively within her character, her distant nature, her lack of sort of understanding humanity and stuff like that in the way she was at the time. But with that all said, I feel like that is really all I have in mind to the episode. There's some cool stuff here, some interesting stuff here, but it doesn't necessarily get to the same like sort of visceral fundamental feeling of like the bonds of these characters that say last episode was starting to get into. So I'm happy with the episode, excited to see where we go from here, interested to see if we'll hear anything more of the Hero of the South in the future, but realistically I don't think we need to. So with all that said, I think I'll leave things here. Feel free to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, leave a comment on your thoughts, and very special thanks to all of my channel members, including Amorphosilica, Desaize, Pokelove 101, and Unusual Echo at the normal tier, and Kano Nano at the cool person tier. Really appreciate your support, as always, and I hope you all have a great day. Bye-bye!